29,000, Form 34A. But the same, by tomorrow morning, should be available on the public portal. And to just now remind us a little bit about the process that we expect to go on, the presidential election in all polling stations has ended, and what we're expecting here now is Form 34B, which form is prepared by the constituency returning officer. And it contains information in terms of the voting or the results from the respective polling stations in the respective constituency. So the teams or the setup that you see here is to enable the commission process Form 34B, because it becomes the basis of further processing of the presidential results for purposes of declaration. So this evening, we expect a lot more activity as we receive forms coming in from the field. I think so far, as we were seated there, we had received about 10. Confirm. 10 constituencies having announced the final presidential results in their respective constituencies. So we have those forms, and we'll take them through the process that we've set up, which will include confirmation and validation of that form in the presence of presidential candidate agents. Then the different regions. We have different regions or clusters representing different regions. They'll be processing Form 34Bs of specific constituencies assigned to them. Each team is led by a commissioner. So that is what we expect to do between now and perhaps the next few hours. People are asking questions as to why we have delays in getting Form 34B. First of all, you must appreciate the fact that we are processing results of 6 elections. 6 elections. So if a constituency has 100 polling stations, it means that we have 600 ballot boxes that are received by the constituency returning officer. And he or she must be able to process that as a presiding officer, receive all the materials, and release that particular officer. And in essence, they have to deal with 100 people, 6 elections, 600 ballot boxes. So it is expected that 12 hours after voting, there's a lot more administrative work to be conducted. But also remember that it's the same constituency returning officer who is supposed to declare the winner of the County Assembly Ward election and the member of National Assembly election. So there's a bit of work, and you'll also agree with me that there's been a lot of work in the last 3 days for these individuals. But we expect that more and more results will be registering with us. That is Form 34B by midnight tonight. So let us stay awake. Let us be patient. We are keen to completing this process as fast as possible. At the top level, as of 6:45 p.m. this evening, we had 96% of polling stations reporting to us And that is what you can see on the board now is 77%. At the same time, that means we have about 1,300 polling stations that are yet to report. And if you want to know which polling stations are those, the screen ahead of me, if you go to the website, you'll be able to drill down and will establish the exact polling station that will not have reported by that particular time. So we hope that by midnight, all this will be closed, unless there are issues that are unique to a particular polling station. A total of 14,728,944 voters, registered voters, are reported to have voted, and this number is expected to increase after we receive results from the 1,300 polling stations that are yet to report. During the day, there's a matter that came up, which concern the security of the results transmission system. I wish to take this opportunity to confirm that our election management system is secure. There were no external or internal interference to the system at any point before, during, and after the voting. So the RTA system is secure. There was a question about where it was, and the reports I saw, they went back to the database that we're using. So that you know, the RTS system is based on a database that is very different from the alleged hacked database. Our team has reviewed the alleged logs and established that the claims being made could not be substantiated from our end. There's a question about passwords. As I said in the morning, no passwords were given to anyone within the commission until on the eve of the election, as part of assuring the integrity of the system. But that said, of course, we must be vigilant. We must ensure that the system that we have is secure, and if you have any reports that indicate threats to our system, because it's not IEBC system, it's a system that belongs to the people of Kenya. Let us share that information, and let us join our hands together to ensure that it remains a secure asset for the people of Kenya. We believe that we've done everything possible to secure the integrity of that system. So, ladies and gentlemen, this evening we expect more activities, as I said earlier. We'll call upon your patience as our teams receive information with regards to Form 34B, and we hope that this process will come to an end as soon as possible so that we can go back to other business of building the nation. With those remarks, I want to say thank you very much. Okay, I've been requested to explain a little bit of the layout of this tallying center. What happened this time around, unlike before, we decided to do all the collation in the presence of everyone. Hence the arrangement that you see here. We expect that the returning officers are going to scan Form 34B, and that scanning will be sent through a secure network and it will be received by team number 1 here. We are calling the receiving and validation team. That computer is basically to allow that secure access. After the validation team, we will hand over the form to the respective cluster. Each constituency is in a cluster. We have six clusters in the room. So if you want to know which ones they are marked, specific counties, you can identify them so that you pay keen attention to that process. But we also have another team here that is composed of our internal auditors. We call them the validation team. This is the receiving and authentication team. Sorry, I mixed the receiving and authentication team. The last team there is the validation team. It will receive reports from the different clusters, compile the information, and confirm that proper collection has been undertaken before the final Form 34C is prepared. So they're the ones who will prepare the Form 34C, and Form 34C contains the results of all the Form 34Bs. So that report is the one that will be considered by the Commission, adopted by the Commission, and then the results, the final results for the presidential election are announced by the chairperson of the Commission. There's a small desk here, is the diaspora desk. It will fit in one of those, but it was important that we have a separate desk for them. So we start with the receiving and authentication, clusters, validation, adoption of the results by the Commission, then final announcement by the chairman of the Commission. Thank you. Okay, of course, I talked about the agents who are seated here. There are 8 of them, representing the 8 presidential candidates. They'll be very critical during the process of authentication of the results form, as well as when we are receiving the final report from the validation team. So we look forward that as we are seated here, we'll cooperate, so that we finalize this process as soon as possible. I don't know whether any commissioner has anything to say. Okay, thank you very much. We hope to see you.
Thank you very much. My name is Wahiga Mwaura from Citizen TV. I have 2 quick questions. The first one being that you've just finished a quick meeting with former US Secretary of State John Kerry. Are you able to share with us what your discussions were and any concerns he may have raised? Secondly, you've just stated publicly here that no hacking took place of your systems. Have you gone the extra mile to contact NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga? Maybe your IT team could share with his IT team as well what the findings were, or is he expected to hear this statement as your response to the allegations that he made today? Those are my 2 questions.
One, of course, Secretary Kerry was here. He has left. Yeah, of course, him being here is an important show of the importance of this exercise. So he wanted to understand what was going on here, what is expected, and what I've briefed you is exactly what I briefed him. So, yeah, that is it. With regards to the reports on hacking, oh, by the way, we have not received any report, any formal complaint about hacking of our system. So for us, when we saw that in the media, of course, we asked ourselves, we wanted to see the basis of those claims. And based on our own study, we are comfortable with where we are. Yeah.
Brian Amulioto kutoka Kwetu Radio. Swali langu ni, mmesema kwamba mmepokea takriban matokeo kutoka forms, zile form 3A kutoka vituo 29,000. Je, matokeo hayo yanaambatana na yale ambayo yalikuwa yametumwa kutumia vile vifaa vya BVR, au labda tathmini yenu ni ipi hadi kufikia sasa?
Yeah, tunataraji kwamba matokeo hayo yatakuwa sambamba, lakini haya makundi yaliyo hapa, kazi moja wao ni kuhakikisha kwamba wameangalia zile forms ili kutambua ama kutafuta kujua ikiwa zile forms matokeo yanaambatana na yale ambayo tunaona katika screen zetu hapa. So hiyo report tutapewa na hawa wafanyakazi wa IEBC ambao wameteuliwa kufanya kazi kama hiyo. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We hope to have another brief around 11 o'clock, depending on how things evolve. Thank you very much. Good evening.